Thank you, Senator. Senator Carper is recognized for his questions, and thank you for holding the gavel.
God, it was fun doing that again. I used to be him. Now I'm me. But I got to chair a committee on environment and public works, which is a pretty good gig as well. So happy to see all of you. Let me just ask a couple of you. Has anyone ever mispronounced your name? Mr. Schellenberg, have anyone ever mispronounced your name?
All the time.
Mr. Roberts, has anybody ever mispronounced your name?
No, sir, but they have called me Mr. Williams.
Okay. How about Ms. Raj? Ms. Raj, has anyone ever mispronounced your name?
Absolutely.
All right. How do you like to pronounce your name? Raj? Is it Raj?
Yeah, Miss Raj is great.
Ms. Raj,
Baby
okay, that's
yeah.
great. And Dr. Lee? Is it Dr. Lee?
Dr. Lee is fine.
No, that's good. Dr. Lee. And Ghani? Dr. Ghani?
Sounds good.
Is that okay? All right, all right. My name is Carper. I've been called worse. All right, welcome everybody. We're delighted that you're here. We had this big seminar yesterday, as some of you probably maybe participated in it or at least followed it. And I was asked by the press. There was a press stakeout after it was over, and I was leaving, and they said, "Well, what do you think?" And they said, one of the things said, "What do you know a lot about AI?" And I told them earlier this year when we started getting really focused on this, I said I could barely spell AI. And after another reporter said to me, how do you feel? Do you feel like you're coming along on AI now? And I said, I quoted the wife of Albert Einstein. She allegedly was asked a long time ago if she understood her husband's theory of relativity. She was a very smart woman. And she said, I understand the words, but not the sentences. Think about that. I understand the words, but not the sentences. I feel that pretty well sums up my approach, at least early this year on AI. Hope I'm coming along a little bit, take baby steps, but we'll eventually get there. I just remind us all that we are members of the Senate have broad and different backgrounds. I got an MBA a long time ago, became a naval flight officer in the Vietnam War, and had many, many years retired Navy captain, and I've been Delaware's treasurer, congressman, governor, and senator. And so I should be able to spell AI. And I'm not going to give up, and we'll eventually, hopefully, be able to make some real contributions through this committee and others as well. Among the questions I'd like to ask them, I've got a couple of them, and we'll just see how much time we have. Dr. Lee, how do you pronounce it for your first part of the name? Fei-Fei?
Fei-Fei Lee.
Okay. Where's your family from originally?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. West Virginia here. So.
Oh, great. I was small town, Parsippany, New Jersey.
Very good, very good. Dr. Lee, let me just begin by thanking again all of you for being here and for your efforts to help make us, I like to say guided missiles as opposed to unguided missiles. But thank you for your testimony and thoughtful testimony on the impact of AI. As we've heard this morning, AI has the potential to transform many aspects, not all aspects, but many aspects of our lives, including the speed and effectiveness of government service delivery. We're servants. Our job is to serve the people of this country. So the question here is for me with AI, how can AI help us to be better servants and to serve the people in this country in a wide variety of ways? Along with helping us with the spread of information, helping us with respect to economic competitiveness as a nation, and help us with respect to the changing worker responsibilities. I'm curious about how AI will be incorporated throughout the federal government, specifically with regards to efforts to streamline service delivery and waste reduction. I don't like to waste my money. I don't like to waste taxpayer money. I think that's probably true of all of us who serve here. Dr. Lee, my question, what are some of the ways that you can see artificial intelligence improving? How can you see some ways that AI improving the delivery of services to our constituents? And that's a pretty broad range because we provide services in a broad range of ways, but just a couple of examples, Dr. Lee, of how AI can help us improve delivery of services to our constituents.
Thank you, Senator, for the question. First of all, this is actually one of the upsides of this technology is that it can help productivity greatly. I want to continue on the example earlier that, for example, Medicare Advantage services, right? As a user of that for my elderly parents, it is actually highly inefficient right now to have a conversation talking about claims. You can just imagine, especially with this language model technology, that it actually can greatly help our federal government to become much more efficient in handling claims and all that. And when I say efficient, I do not mean replacing humans. I mean augmenting humans. This technology can serve as a companion and working assistant to many aspects of our federal government's work.
I use an aviation term, like more as a co-pilot.
Co-pilot is actually the fantastic term. Even in software engineering now we call it co-pilot.
Okay.
So this is absolutely, there's opportunity for co-piloting. And also there are what we can call machine in the loop of human work. For example, there are vast amount of documents and knowledge we have to sort through. Sometimes AI can become that kind of co-pilot to help to preliminarily sorting that. So these are just simple examples as long as we adhere to our responsible framework.
Good, thanks for that. Can you also discuss for us how the adoption of artificial intelligence tools will impact the federal workforce on a daily basis, and how these tools will impact how federal agencies plan for the future?
A lot of federal government work is knowledge-based. Again, whether we're processing documents, making decisions, and AI right now, especially in the recent breakthroughs, a lot of these language-based models are extremely helpful in knowledge work as a co-pilot. So in Stanford, we've got colleagues working with IRS, looking at, for example, tax and looking at fraud detections. I can imagine EPA looking at environmental issues, understanding, different aspect of environmental problems. We can use this for example, firefighting and climate help. So there are many ways that AI can help in this in federal work. And that my colleague here just said, if we empower our federal workers, if we continue to educate them, train them, their productivity and work can be really elevated. And that's what I personally hope to see. That's part of American leadership.
Mr. Chairman, just one last thought before I yield back to the chairman, the real chairman. You mentioned IRS. We have a fairly new commissioner in charge of the IRS, Danny Werfel. He's doing a great job. And we're actually beginning to do a much better job, as our chairman knows, collecting taxes that are owed by a lot of folks, including people of great wealth and companies that are highly profitable. And the idea of having better tools for our folks at the IRS is a big plus. And we're seeing with a chair of the Committee on Environment and Public Works, we're all about the climate change and the kind of weather that we're seeing, weather conditions we're seeing around the country in fires and so forth. But we have our hands full. Our firefighters have their hands full, and they can use some help. Maybe AI at the end of the day can be of help there too. Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Chairman.